Hey everybody, it's Mr. Marshall at Stony Lane again. I know you've been working really hard reading biography books, and we did some work before thinking about what you think about in the beginning, in the middle, and the end of the book. But today I want to talk to you a little bit about something else, okay? Because just like in any story that you read, if it's fiction or if it's another genre, um, there's something in your book called setting, right? You've heard that word, setting. Setting means the time and the place that the story happens, right? So the setting could be now, or it could be right here where you live, or it could be a long, long time ago, or it could be in the future too. When you're reading a biography, it's not going to be the future, it's probably the past. And so, one thing that you can do is you can think about the setting, the time, and the place that the story happens, and you can think about what you know about the setting. But also, you can think about how the setting is affecting the person that the biography is about. So, today I'm going to teach you these are some things that you can think about regarding the setting in your story. Okay, ready? And then you can think about these as you're reading. It'll help guide your thinking, right? So it says think about setting in biography. So you could think, what is happening to my subject because of the setting, right? So stuff's going to happen to the person you're reading about because of where and when they live, right? How does my subject fit into the setting, right? How do they belong in there? Like, do they get along well with what's going on, or is there something else going on because of where and when they live? How does my subject affect the setting? How does the setting affect my subject, right? So that's kind of, how is that changing my person, or how is my person changing the time period? That's even cooler, because sometimes people that have books written about them are doing really important work that changes the world around them, changes their setting. And the last one says, what opportunities or limitations does the setting put on blank? Okay, so that means, what chances do they have, or what things are really hard for them because of where and when they live? Okay, so watch. I'm working on a new biography now. The biography that I'm reading right now is about a famous woman named Eleanor Roosevelt, and Eleanor Roosevelt was the what's called First Lady of the United States. That means her husband was the president, Franklin Roosevelt. Okay, and so I first got to think about what the setting of the story was. Well, Franklin Roosevelt was president in the 1930s and 1940s, and I know that things were really different back then, because there was a lot of problems with racism. There were problems with poverty, and Eleanor Roosevelt really worked hard um, to to help that. Okay, so right now I'm kind of in the middle of my book, and so I'm going to be thinking about these questions about the setting while I'm reading my book. Ready? Okay, so it says Franklin, that's her husband, was elected governor of New York in 1928 and 1930, and president of the United States in 1932. I'll show you the picture. There we go. He was reelected president in 1936, 1940, and 1944. When Franklin became president, Eleanor became first lady. Let's keep going. The 1930s was the time of the Great Depression, right? The Great Depression, that was a time when everybody struggled with money. Like, they lost their jobs and they didn't have enough money to survive. Banks and factories had closed. Millions of people had lost their jobs. Hungry people stood in long lines for free bread and soup. It was a difficult time to be president or first lady. So let's see. Thinking, how does Eleanor Roosevelt fit into this setting? Thinking Eleanor Roosevelt fits into this setting because she was having a hard time, because it was hard to be first lady then. It was hard to be anything, but she probably knew she had to do something about it. Let's see. It says Eleanor didn't wait to do things. Her motto was, tomorrow is now. She had a radio program and wrote a daily newspaper column. She traveled to cities, towns, farms, and into coal mines. She brought hope to millions of people. Wow. Wow. So it sounds like she's affecting the setting. She's affecting the time period. She decided she wasn't going to just sit and watch the people suffer. She is affecting the setting. How does Eleanor Roosevelt affect the setting? She's doing something about it, right? She's getting on the radio and she's writing in the newspaper, trying to find ways to help people. Let's see what else she does. Eleanor used the money she earned from her speeches and her writing to help the poor. Wow, so she's really helping affect the setting. She's changing the time because she's helping poor people, by donating her money. It says Eleanor spoke out for women's rights too, the rights of Indians, the homeless, young people, and minorities. She told people, do what you feel in your heart to be right. Eleanor always did. So it sounds like she's having a lot of influence. She's having a lot of effect on the setting, right? Because she's telling people to be brave. She's finding ways to help them. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. It says, where are we? On December 7th, 1941, the United States Armed Forces were attacked by Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. The United States entered the Second World War. During the war, Eleanor traveled all over the world to visit American soldiers. When she came home, she brought messages from the soldiers to their families. Yeah, like she's not letting the setting affect her. She's affecting the setting, right? She's helping people. How does Eleanor Roosevelt affect the setting? She's helping people who are sad because their relatives are at war, or maybe she's helping the soldiers who are at war, to feel brave, right? And she's helping people that were poor. She's helping women. She's helping Native Americans. She's helping all these people that have a hard life, right? So she's trying to make the setting better. She's trying to make the world a better place by doing all that. Do you see how I'm using these questions to really think about Eleanor Roosevelt? Okay. That's what you can do. Even if you're not reading about Eleanor Roosevelt, you can read about whoever and think about these questions about how the person and the setting have a relationship. Okay. And that can help you to be a really active thinker while you're reading your biography. So why don't you try that? And then I'll see you next time.